Hello, I'm Rosemary Leal, and today I'll be presenting Texas Game Warden for my College 100 class final project. Most people tend to think game wardens are just park rangers. Today I'll show you how Texas game wardens make a difference on wildlife conservation, public safety, and public education. Starting with the history of game warden and game law in general. So the earliest laws for game and the land they inhabit trace all the way back to 1016. The royalty wanted their land and animals protected. Someone who killed the royalty's livestock could be awarded the death penalty. So in the beginning, it started off, not exactly for conservation. Starting in 1629, American colonies implemented restrictions on the who, what, and where in regards to hunting. And then, as the United States government was developing, so were the game laws. The first official law was passed in 1832. Over time, game laws increased, as well as other efforts by the government. This involved predator control, conservation of land for animals, and population growth efforts. Yellowstone National Park was one of the first conservation efforts by the United States to preserve wildlife. According to Reeves' 2011, now almost 15,000 sworn-in officers in the United States are employed in enforcing laws related to natural resources. The Texas Parks and Wildlife have the third most sworn-in officers, 480, following California and Florida. Job description. According to Texas Parks and Wildlife, Texas game wardens provide a comprehensive statewide law enforcement program to protect and conserve Texas's wildlife, other natural resources, and the environment. Texan game wardens are claimed to be some of the nation's best. In addition, they enforce state boating safety laws, enforce state laws and regulations on clean air, water, and hazardous materials and human health. They enforce Texas Parks and Wildlife Code and the Texas Penal Code. This means they can arrest you if you violate laws, even if it's not related to game or conservation. This is accomplished by educating the public, patrolling by land, water, and air, arresting violators, selling fishing and hunting licenses, registering boats. So, educating the public. They have many avenues that they do this. They educate the public through traditional ways such as literature, posters, and classes, but they also have social media such as Twitter and Facebook. They have a website and a YouTube channel. Before doing research, I had no idea how many different areas you could work in as a Texas game warden. Now I'll show you some special teams within the force. So we're going to start off with the Texas Navy. That's their Maritime Tactical Operations Group. Just like police on the streets, they also have a canine team which supplement the game wardens to assist in search, border operations, and more. A tactical response team called the Scout Team, search and rescue team, which they use to respond during natural disasters, swift water recovery, and more. They also have a forensics reconstruction team. They use 3D mapping to reconstruct crime scenes. They have a marine investigations unit, which investigates tax and title fraud and also recovers stolen vessels. And then the statewide honor guard, which they detail the retired or active fallen game wardens' funerals. So this is a look at the 9th special team by the Texas Game Wardens.
Tie that kind of knot. Throughout history, game wardens have had the difficult duty of recovering drowning victims all over the state.
It's a horrible part of our job, but it's a necessary part.
We had a drowning a few years ago on Canyon Lake. The family was camped out 10 feet behind us.
A family member looked me in the eyes and asked me, please get him back for me, please. And I've given him my word.
Before we went down to do our search, they circled us and they said a prayer.
And not only did they pray for their family member who lost their life, but they prayed for us as well.
It was difficult not to be emotional when the family's around like that.
It's a sad deal, but there's a good feeling that knowing that you had a part in bringing closure. 1, 2, 3, go.
Working those kind of cases, when they come up after the fact and they say they appreciate us being there and they appreciate our efforts, that's about the only reward that we need. Our dive team originally was composed of 9 individuals.
We're not making anybody do this. There's really no pay incentive or anything like that. So you have to want to do it.
It's not always bodies. I mean, we're involved in a lot of criminal investigations where there's evidence.
There were only 3 out of the original 9 that had dive experience.
My dive experience was none.
So we went from 0 to 60 miles an hour, it seems like, just over about a year's time.
What we wanted to do is we wanted to get the same bunch of guys who were trained the same way. And so everybody got the same training, even the guys that had already been divers.
There's tents right over there.
The diving we do is completely technical and nothing like recreational diving.
I found out real quick it wasn't like what I thought it was going to be.
If you would imagine laying on your belly, closing your eyes, and crawling through a forest, drop the temperature about 40 degrees. That's how I describe it.
It's cold, dark, and scary. We're not going down looking at pretty fish. You're lucky if you can see a few inches.
Johnny, how's your visibility?
The conditions that we dive in generally are what we call black water conditions. 0 visibility.
The division that equipped us and the state-of-the-art diving equipment and search equipment.
It's changed the way that we've done things and cut the recovery times, down to a fraction.
Yeah, 10-4, Derek, I hear you loud and clear.
As we deploy the sonar, the image that we get is called a waterfall, and it flows down across the screen, and it casts shadows, and we can determine what we're looking for, be it a body recovery or evidence recovery. This white imagery right here is going to be a cliff, and there's a log. The imagery is so good on this particular unit that we have never dove for a body recovery and it not be the target that we thought it was.
It's difficult for me to watch them break the surface and go down. I know the inherent risks that are involved there.
It's dangerous, it's technical, and you depend on each other.
Concrete, rebar, trees. It is very, very dangerous what we do.
I can tell you anybody on the dive team would do anything for each other.
If I go down and I get entangled,
If I needed help,
If I go down,
I'm going to do whatever I can to get down there.
these guys are coming to help me. We understood and had the same purpose and mission. That's something you don't lose. You just become a family.
we are a brotherhood within the brotherhood of game wardens.
Putting our life in each other's hands, it brought this group tighter than any game warden group I've ever worked with.
I'd do anything in the world for these guys. Any of them.
All right, now we're going to go to locations and working conditions. So once you complete the academy and you get commissioned, you must be statewide assignable. So whatever Texas Parks and Wildlife needs, that's most likely where you're going to go. And then keep in mind you're also going to be in the outdoors, inclement weather, natural disasters, and other hazardous conditions and stressful situations. You're going to be dealing with injured, upset, or violent people at any time. Also, injured, upset, or violent animals. So the danger is real, and thankfully it's not a common occurrence that a game warden is lost in the line of duty. However, 18 brave men gave their life performing their duties as a Texas game warden. The picture is the honor guard at a funeral in East Texas. And then we're also gonna be talking about the work schedule. You must be willing to be on call 24/7, work other hours other than 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and then you must be willing to work federal and state holidays. It may not always be the case, just depending on what your actual job is. Days off may not necessarily be the weekends. So, we know that Texas game wardens do their part to contribute to the conservation of wildlife, land, and ensuring public safety, and that's awesome. But now we're going to talk about how this also benefits them. And if you want to find more information on all the benefits, you can go to the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department's website below. So, starting off with the salary. Effective in 2015, the game warden cadets make $3,362 a month. You can go all the way up to 20 years and end up making $6,487 a month. You also can get paid additional stipends monthly if you have additional education, certification, or speak a second language. There are also other promotional opportunities. You can be promoted to investigative sergeant, lieutenant, captain, assistant commander, and more. Also, overtime, yes. You get paid time and a half for each hour worked, over 121 hours in a 28-day period. Leave and sick leave. So, monthly you're going to earn leave, and it's going to range from 8 to 21 hours per month depending on full-time or part-time status and how many years you've worked for the state. Full-time employees earn 8 hours of sick leave per month. Part-time employees also earn sick leave, but it just depends on how long they've worked. And holidays. You are going to get most major state and federal holidays off, but you could be on call. Like I said before, it really just depends on what job you're actually doing for Texas Parks and Wildlife. Now we're going to move on to healthcare and dental. Both full and part-time employees are eligible for a healthcare plan. Full-time employees are going to get 100% of their expenses paid by the state, and if you're part-time, you're going to get 50% paid by the state. You can also purchase additional coverage for your family members and dependents. Dental for the employee is 2 options. So there's 2 plans that offer a discounted rate for contracted dentists, and then if you want to choose your own dentist, you're just going to have to pay co-payments and other deductibles. Retirement. After 90 days of employment, all game wardens are now members of the retirement system. And when you're eligible, there are 6 different retirement options to choose from. From the time that you're eligible for retirement, or not eligible for retirement, but for the time that you are enrolled, 6.9% of your monthly salary is going to be placed in a retirement account. 8% is going to be matched by the state of Texas. And they also offer 457 and 401k supplemental retirements. Now, if you leave state employment before eligibility for retirement, you're going to receive all your contributions back plus 2% interest. Now, let's see, do you have what it takes? So we're going to start off simple with age. The minimum age requirement is 21 by the starting date of the cadet class, and there's also no maximum age. You need to possess a valid driver's license and be a United States citizen. Health. So because you're going to be, facing physical challenges, you're going to need a medical examination to include vision and hearing. You also need a psychological assessment. And moving on, education. You must have attained a bachelor's degree from an accredited college or university, but your degree does not have to be in criminal justice. And then, unlike other forms of law enforcement may or may not do, military experience and prior law enforcement does not waive the degree requirements. Character. So qualities that are wanted for this job include high moral character, trustworthy, no felony offenses, no DUI, DWI, no boating while intoxicated, and if you were in the military, your discharge cannot be under less than honorable. So, the application process. I'm going to break it down as simple as possible. So, number 1, Texas Parks and Wildlife will announce when applications will be accepted, usually about once a year. If you're qualified, an interview will be scheduled. If they like you, a thorough background check is next. Then, health screenings are required. You'll also have to pass a physical readiness test. This consists of 21 sit-ups in a minute, 13 push-ups in a minute, at least, a 1.5-mile run in less than 21 minutes and 36 seconds, a 300-meter run in less than 109 seconds. You're also going to have a swim test, which needs to be completed under 5 minutes, and a handgun test. Then your tattoos, body art, body piercings, and social media could be up for review. Then the Game Warden Academy. It's 7 months long and you'll be required to live there. There you're going to learn everything that you need to know to do any one of the jobs. Then number 6, after you pass the Texas Peace Officer Licensing Exam, the commissioning ceremony will take place and you'll be promoted to Game Warden 1. Then you're going to start your first field assignment. This is a picture of the most recent Game Warden graduating class. So now we're going to move on to the closing of my presentation. Today we learned how Texas game wardens are important to public safety, education, and wildlife conservation. They are more than just park rangers. And these will be my references.